When anyone asks my major and I say that my major is dance, a lot of the comments that I've gotten back are, oh, it must be so much fun to dance around for your major. Do you take any academic courses with your major? What are you going to do with that? Or are you still doing that dance thing that you do? Instead of, no one would say that to someone who's being a biologist. Oh, are you still doing that biology thing? Like, no one says that. So for me, it just seems like people don't take it seriously, and I don't get taken seriously sometimes. For one of my English classes, I had to turn in a paper about how dance is sexualized in the media, and I got to pick the topic, so of course I choose that because it's something I'm really passionate about. And I got the paper back, and I looked through my paper, and it just said -10, and in quotations it said, not academic. And to me that was fairly offensive just because it's such a personal art for me. And I went up to her and asked her, like, oh, hey, like, what's this about? Like, why didn't I cited all these correctly, and they're very good sources that I used. And she says, I just don't think it's academic. I don't think it's educational. And for me, that was just like a reality of how many people really don't understand what I do and what I write about. The hardest part for me is balancing rehearsals with homework. Let's say I'll have rehearsal from 6 to 10 o'clock at night, and I don't get home till 10:30, and then have 3 hours of homework to do, let alone do any of the stuff that I have to do, like laundry or any other things or responsibilities, a job or anything like that. It makes it very difficult to balance time management if you're dancing for that long. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is that for most people's majors, it's all in-class work where you're getting credits for it. But for example, if you're in the dance department, you have to audition for the faculty shows and all of that. So that takes up a lot of time that you don't even get credit for. So I think that's another misconception people have, is that the amount of time and dedication it takes to just be active in the dance department, it takes a lot of work to keep up with it, and balancing the emotional sides of it too, for staying up late hours of the night trying to finish your homework after you physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted yourself is one of the most challenging things I've had to accomplish this year. Those words together, dance around for my major, those words in context to what I do is a complete insult, because I don't think what I do is just dancing around, which is, I think, is a misconception a lot of people have, and they don't have any idea of the academic sides of it, the history of it, the politics of it. There's so much more that goes into it than just the physical attributes that dance possesses.
What drives your passion for dance? Why do you love it?
For me, I think it's the ability to change one's perception of an idea or concept without saying a single word, to just see how much movement can inform social change and activism, that art can change the world in whatever way we can, or change one's ideas.
If you could tell someone who doesn't think dance is a real major something about actually being a major,
I would advise them to take a dance history course or a dance appreciation course, or just go out and see some of the beautiful art that's been presented in Albuquerque recently. The experience of watching a professional performance will, I think, completely open up that person's mind to what possibilities there is in the art world, and not everyone just does it for fun. And it's an actual profession, and it takes a lot of strength in order to do it. And I would advise them to take dance classes to see what it actually takes, and the dedication and focus you have to have for 3 hours of working, just on the placement of like one side of your foot in ballet to, where your focus is in modern. I think people see it as such an easy thing because you're supposed to appear it as it doesn't take a lot of work to do. But if they actually see and experienced how hard it is to be in this profession, then they wouldn't have such a bias towards it. I think it's a lot more courageous to do something that you're not promised a steady income of any sort, rather than something that has, you get paid this amount of money and it's reliable. But for me, I get paid in happiness and fulfillment in what I do, so that to me is way more than getting a steady paycheck. And I'm willing to, work whatever job I have to in order to do what I love, because to me, I feel like that's the most important.